Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to take our time and share with you guys a little bit about how we've done so far this year. We're coming up on Memorial Day weekend and kind of where we're going to try to go for next year and how we're planning on getting there. You know, we've just been into this brand new full-time nursery business now for a few months, and our goal from the day we started it was to grow it, and to do it as fast as we can, as well as we can. And that's what we've been working on so hard this spring, every week, trying to keep our nursery stocked and restocked and reloaded for the week of sales to come. Now we're looking forward to next spring. Even though that's still 9, 10, 11 months away, now we're planning for it now, and we have to get far ahead in order to get where we want to be. So today, I want to share a little bit with you about how exactly we're planning on doing that. All right, so here we are in late May, and we have completed our first 8 weeks of being open, going into our 9th week now with Memorial Day weekend coming right now. So we're expecting a really good weekend of sales coming up. We've got beautiful weather, and we think with the holiday weekend that lots of people will sorry, weeds are driving my leg crazy. That lots of people will be out and about, and we think it's going to be a good weekend for plant sales. But so far, we've surpassed the $30,000 mark in gross sales. We're really happy about that. Obviously, going into the future, though, we want to be way beyond that. So our goal for next year is to 3x that, like a 300% increase from this year. And we've been kind of working on thinking through the process with all that we've learned in these last few months of how is it that we're actually going to get there. There's no way we'll get there without a plan. So we're planning now on how we're going to get that done next year. So let me just give you a little bit of how we got where we are and then how we think we're going to be able to get to that number next year. So as I said, this is our first year doing nursery full time, and we've really just kind of dabbled with it for several years, and it just became something that we really love doing. And this year we took it from part-time to full-time, and this is our first year full-time. So far, like I said already, we've done a little over 30,000 in gross sales. And you know, we started out really small, just doing this in our backyard, and we lived in a neighborhood, and our entire nursery was about 1,200 square feet, maybe 1,400 square feet, and now we're on 6 acres, and not that we're using anywhere near that much as a nursery, only a very small fraction of that as our actual nursery. So now we've began the process of really trying to figure out and understand and put the work into how we're going to grow this thing. Now, if you guys have been watching our videos, y'all have seen how we kind of have set our nursery up so far, and we've been working in recent days to expand it. Now, expanding the nursery or doing any nursery, meaningful nursery work is hard when your nursery is open. So, you know, you got customers coming in constantly interrupting what you're doing, but you need those customers. So that's never a complaint that customers are interrupting what you're doing, but it's been challenging to get some of these things done. So one of the things that we have been working at for the last week or so on and off is running irrigation to a new area that we've created where to put plants on, and also expanding that area out and making it larger to accommodate more plants. So this area behind me is the new area that we have built. These are approximate numbers, but it's about 60 feet that way and about 60 feet that way, and it's actually a little bit over 2,500 square feet, but just for the sake of round numbers, we're going to call it 2,500 square feet. So here's what our thinking is on this area. Now, this is just this area. We still have, you know, our shade houses down there, and we've got another shade area over here. Around this way a little bit, we grow some plants in the ground, and we have other places besides just this area. So this is just our new area. But the numbers on this are pretty simple. A trade gallon pot, which is our standard size pot that most of our plants go in that we sell, you can get 4 of them in 1 square foot of space. So each square foot represents 4 trade gallon pots. So at 2,500 square feet, which is what we have out here, again, these numbers are approximate. Theoretically, we could get 10,000 pots, 10,000 plants out here. So just to kind of have some idea what that would look like, that would mean that every single square inch of this black ground cover was covered with a pot, and that all the pots were the same size. Now, for us, That's not going to happen because we need to leave aisleways in here to walk through. We have different size pots in here. We have a few that are smaller. We have some that are 3-gallon that are much bigger. And we're not going to have 10,000 plants out here. We're probably going to have more like 8,000 or 8,500 plants out here, something like that. But just to be able to visualize it, that gives us an idea of how many plants we can get on this exact spot. Now, our Square terminal, which is our point of sale system, gives us all kinds of reports with interesting information about our sales in it. And one of the numbers that it has given us is that our average price per item is a little bit over $8 per item. So we're going to round that down just to be conservative to $8 even. So let's just do just a quick math exercise that if there's about 8,000 plants out here on this area and we can get about $8 each for them conservatively, then we can see quickly that adds up to about $64,000. Again, rough numbers, but it gives you kind of a good point of reference for how much space it takes to have that dollar amount of plants. Now, two things that we think that will be better on next year than on this year. Number one is our price per items sold. So we started out lower this year, and most of our items are still at that price point, but we've increased our number of items that we have that we're getting $9, $14, $20 for, where on our very first days open, we were not getting that for very many items at all. So one thing that we know we can do is our overall average, we can bring that number up, say from $8 per plant to $9 a plant, and we think that will help a great deal. And the second thing that we know for sure that we're going to be able to do next year that we weren't able to do this year is offer a lot more variety of a lot more plants to sell to our customers. This has been such a learning year for us. I mean, everything about this has been new this year. So we found new wholesale nurseries. We have found new sources for a number of plants like annuals, vegetable starts, trees of various kinds, perennials. That's kind of our standard go-to plant. We have found all kinds of new sources, and we'll continue to find new sources, I'm sure, between now and the beginning of next year. So we're looking forward to that as we move into next year, continuing to find new sources and to increase our offerings to our customers. A third advantage that we think that we're going to have next year, in fact, we know that we're going to have next year, is that there are a lot of people now who know where we are and who know who we are. You know, we started 8 weeks ago with no customers, no presence in this area, off the beaten path, not on a busy road whatsoever out in the country. And we've built our Facebook page now. Our business Facebook page has almost 1,000 followers. Now, some of that's you guys, our YouTube watchers, of course, but it's 50 to 1. I mean, it's almost all local people, which is what we need. We don't need you guys to go follow our nursery Facebook page. Yeah, I don't think that's how you're supposed to build your social network presence, is to say don't join our page, but you guys get the point. We've got, I think it's almost 900 followers on our nursery Facebook page. So anytime I make a post about anything on our nursery Facebook page, it potentially reaches that number of people locally. And time after time after time, every week that we're open, people are coming by telling us, we didn't know you guys were here. We're so excited there's another nursery in the area. And they're buying our plants and they're giving us good reviews and leaving great comments. And all of that, we think, in addition to the two previous points I mentioned, I think these things are going to go a long way towards next year really being the year when we take off out here. And in addition to all the plants that we showed you guys out on our new grow out area, down in our original shade house where we do our potting down in that shade house, we have a lot of plants that are growing out now for next year. I mean, when you go in there, you start seeing all sorts of, you know me, screening trees. We got arborvitas of various kinds in there, from the Arborvita elegantissima to the green giant. And we also have plug trays in here of viburnums and loropetalums. We have more varieties of hydrangeas. We still have hostas to divide. We have trays of daisies. We have sedum growing in here. If you move over to the other shade house, when you go have a look over there, in addition to some of more green giant type plants growing, you've got several varieties of crepe myrtles. We got more hydrangeas. We've got more varieties, or multiple varieties, of rows of Sharon, and in addition to just the new varieties and things that we're growing out, now we're going to be buying in more small plant starts in the weeks ahead to get them potted up to grow out for next year. And a lot of our screening trees, our emerald greens, our green giants, and a new arborvitae we've added to the lineup called Highlights. We're going to be growing these out and offering them for sale in larger pots with the goal of attracting landscapers and the like who are buying larger plants for a larger price. So we're going to keep all of our small stuff, selling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of green giants to just folks looking to make a privacy screen, but we're also trying to make inroads with landscapers and see if we can get in that market. And all that's going to do, we hope, is to raise our average price from $8 to $9, $10, or $11 per item. So there's some steps that we're trying to take. Yeah, it's more volume, but it's also an overall increase in our price structure. So in addition to all the plants that we're growing out and that we're propagating and that we'll be continuing with all of our regular stuff, there's going to also be all the stuff that we will buy in and quick flip next year. This is the first year that we've ever done any of that at all, but we'll be doing that again next year with annuals, the plants that we had no idea that were such a big hit with so many people that we learned about. We've got multiple sources now to get annuals in at a reasonable price where we can roughly double the price on them, sell them quickly, and make a whole lot of people leaving here with their pretty flowers, hanging baskets, and the like. So those, in addition to many, many, many other items, will all be piled in. Yeah, they're at a much smaller profit margin than the things that we grow ourselves, but as long as they're helping us make money and as long as they're helping increase our bottom line, we're happy with it, and that's what we're working towards. So today we wanted to share with y'all kind of where we are at this point in our new business and somewhat of our roadmap to getting where we want to be next year. There's more details involved in it, and it's not pie in the sky. We kind of know how we're going to do it, but at the same time, there's work every day, there's steps to be taken every day, and we actually have to execute on all this. So you got to make it all happen, and that's exactly what we're working towards. So I hope this was helpful to somebody watching today. We appreciate all of you watching. I love y'all, and we'll see you on the next one.